share this presentation with our partners, as we're aiming to bring to the market the best innovative solutions that can guarantee the successful implementation of the digital transformation. So let's welcome our first partner, AVEVA, Mr. Mehand, the Senior Enterprise Solutions Consultant.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon everybody. So today, as I was briefing, we were going to talk about the Command and Operation Center, whereby we not just only get this information or start visualizing this information into a nice dashboards, where we will start the journey of the Industry 4.0 by start connecting to the devices or to the different source of the data, and then start getting these data, contextualize these data, and at the end results we visualize this data. So to start with, as a quick introduction, this is the ENPPI and AVEVA journey. So we had a partner relationship between AVEVA and ENPPI for the past 5 years, using our engineering tools, having a lot of successful implementation for some of our customers here in Egypt, and we hope to continue, and we are continuing the journey with ENPPI for the different solution and sectors. Before I start with the today challenges, I would like to start with a short video talking about one of the largest command and control center around the world, which is basically ادنوك, Banourama, whereby we start the journey like 4 years back with ادنوك to implement largest command and control center for the 52 meters video wall, whereby we are getting the information from the different 16 operating companies from ادنوك. And we start getting this information, crunch this data, start making this data into an informative decision support. And I'll just leave you with the videos for a couple of minutes.
The Abu Dhabi National Oil Company is the state-owned oil company of Abu Dhabi and the principal catalyst for the Emirates' development. With 14 integrated organizations operating across the hydrocarbon value chain, ADNOC is one of the world's leading energy producers.
We are an energy company of the future. We produce around 3 million barrels. We could go up to 3.5 million barrels. But associated with that is a huge amount of gas, almost 10 billion cubic foot of gas that we produce.
ADNOC is maximizing value from reserves and operations, and helping to drive its digital transformation is AVEVA.
Between AVEVA and ADNOC, it's a very special relationship. It's one that's based on a belief of this digitalization of the industry.
AVEVA has been a trusted partner of ADNOC for many, many years. It's not abnormal to see them partnering with us in the digital transformation.
No stranger to global market volatility, oil and gas producers are using industrial IoT, big data, advanced visualization, and artificial intelligence to integrate and maximize return across asset and operation value chains.
If we want to have an assured digital transformation, there are some crucial preliminary steps that we have to go through, and that is to allocate, centralize, and integrate all our data on one single platform.
And that's where AVEVA comes in. We have the tools, the best practices, we have the people, we have the know-how, we have the deep research and development.
With AVEVA, ADNOC combines cutting-edge technology with industry expertise and proven experience, a concept they call Oil and Gas 4.0.
Oil and Gas 4.0 is putting the Industrial Revolution 4.0 within an oil and gas context. A leader in adapting new technology, a leader in integrating technology that comes from outside our domain, and see if this technology can add value to our production for the economy and the world in general.
ADNOC's Panorama Digital Command Center is a fully integrated, real-time data visualization center that empowers ADNOC's sharpest minds to gain insights, unlock efficiencies, and identify new pathways to optimizing performance.
Bانوراما is an example of what Abu Dhabi can do. It's a 50-meter screen that allows visualization with more than 120 dashboards that are very granular. We have brought in more than 200,000 data points into this location.
AVEVA's System Platform and Operations Management Interface, OMI, are the foundations of the display, enabling integration across various ERP, business and IT applications, and providing actionable insights.
There has never been a deployment whereby there was a full integration in terms of incorporating gas processing facilities integrated to refineries and petrochemicals all in a single platform.
A key element of ADNOC's panorama is the value chain optimization, powered by AVEVA's Unified Supply Chain Management Solution, an integrated production planning model used to run techno-economic optimization scenarios.
We have the ability here in ADNOC HQ building with my value chain optimization team to be able to actually switch back and forth between the standalone models and the network model.
One run on these scenarios, we can save $60 to $100 million in optimization easily.
ADNOC will use predictive maintenance to empower its team to reduce unscheduled downtime and prevent costly equipment failures.
ADNOC has more than 10 million tags or 10 million sensors around in our facilities that we can bring. One of the things that will increase the number of tags is the predictive maintenance platform that we have.
We're actually creating the largest predictive maintenance platform. We're going to be hooking about almost 700 compressors on that system. I really appreciate AVEVA, appreciate their efforts. They really did set a very good example of what a good collaboration is and what really can come out of a really good collaboration.
As the ADNOC team continues to be a reliable provider of energy to the world, with AVEVA as its partner, they can imagine and realize a more efficient, integrated and empowered future than the industry has ever known.
Whereby we are getting not only the real-time information, we are getting the different kind of information like the asset management information, SHE data, energy performance, and we start visualizing this data. But not only visualizing, we start contextualizing this data and make the use of this data to be able to help ADNOC team for fast and very responsive decision making. So before we start the journey, we have some challenges we have been identified for the past 5 years working with the different customers trying to implement such kind of, I would say, a complex solution when it comes to the pressure coming from the industry. And the first is the infrastructure and landscape. And this is one of the big questions here when it comes to the organization and the scalability and the futures maps that they are and future plans that they have to be able to operate efficiencies. The more pressure and more pressure to reduce the response time, whereby for the management it's very important to have a very low response times when it comes to these kind of solutions, whereby it can give you a quick overview by implementing a storyline mode into these kind of solutions, whereby the management will be able to immediately detect the anomalies and start taking a fast decision making. And when we talk about the command and control center, we talk about a different systems, a different vendor, a different solution, silo solution. Each of these vendors will have his own support and contract prices, which we do all understand that. However, that for the single truth of single version of truth, we need one solution whereby it can collect this information, standardize this information into a data lake, whereby this information can talk to each other and see the difference between and the deviations between, for example, the plan versus actual, and be able to immediately report the deviations and give an idea to the management how they can operate, how they can enhance their operation in the company. Third is the energy cost, increasing of the energy cost. For example, if one of these major equipments in the refineries or in your plants that need maintenance, whereby it consumes a lot of energy, and this decision need to be taken very fast, whereby you need to take it either it is proactive or scheduled maintenance, and to reduce the energy cost in your plant. A lack of ability to monitor the different solutions and to be able to take a decision based on a different standard operating procedure you are going at your organization. Quality problems with the equipment, and this is the example that I was giving, for example, for the maintenance, and how we can address the maintenance issue and how this can help us to facilitate the full asset life cycle when it comes to the decision making of our maintenance.
Thank you.
Increasing the regularity and safety norms authority, and this is what we talk about, is the standard operating procedure, whereby we need to set a specific rule engines in such kind of complex implementation to be able to set the rule-based solution business engines that can help you to do a fast decision making, and the pressure, which is basically everybody has, of reducing or optimizing the operation cost. About the quick value proposition regarding to such kind of solution, whereby we already had some example, but I'll just go through them quickly. So the connection and the establish of the single source of truth enhance the collaboration between the different organization or different department inside the organization, the better decision making with such kind of business rule engines that we have to gather or we have to consider, the opportunity to optimize the OPEX and capitalize the APEX by having the financial aspects of the solutions. And at the end, after we get all of this information, we need to start thinking about, everybody talks about the big data and the data analytics, machine learning, but the thing is, we have to make this data ready for the analytics solution, whereby we contextualize all of these different data to be able to pass it to the analytical. So basically this is the first level of, I would say, or the infrastructure of the Industry 4.0 that everybody, and digitalization that everybody was talking about. So a quick overview of the AVEVA Unified Operation Center, which we did see on the ADNOC panorama, is it's a one platform that can give you the control and the monitor capability of your organization, whereby in certain kind of command and control centers we just use it for monitoring and start decision making. However, that some of the companies will require to go deeply and start operating by such kind of platform, focus on the integration by the multiple systems, help to improve the efficiencies by correlation or contextualization of this data together to be able to have a better decision making. The templatized approach is one of the biggest things that we are implementing here in AVEVA Unified Operation Center for UI UX, whereby we call it a very simple thing is you develop it once, you deploy it many. So you don't need to reinvest the wheel, and you don't need to have a very high service contract with AVEVA team to be able to implement such kind of solution. This is one of the, I would say, a sample architecture, whereby this architecture has been heavily used in our command and control operation center, whereby this is where we are unifying the way of extracting the information, storing the information into a centralized storage area, which we call it a data lake, and then the last thing, that the nice dashboards that we have to visualize. So basically here we are not targeting the nice dashboards that we need to have at the end of the day, because this is a result of what we need to have. So the first thing is I need to make sure that regardless of the vendor, or I'm a vendor agnostic at the end of the day, so regardless of the vendor that I have, so I will need to be able to communicate, to standardize the way of communication. Second thing is, once I get these data, because sometimes it's not a real-time data, like for example the CCTVs, SAPs, enterprise data, so some of the financial data. So this is why I have the ESP layer, whereby I start let this data talk to each other and be able to contextualize this data into the two different way of the data lake, and I will create my contextualized model whereby I get this information into the visualization layer. The question that I always get here from from the various organizations, various customers. So what is this different than building a dashboard? So why this is different than I'm getting a normal dashboard connecting to a different system, communicating to a PCS, ERB, financial, and so on and so forth. The difference is the unification of the data across the multiple layers, whereby I'm unifying the integration layer by giving a standard integration layer whereby if I have a real-time data, I need to get it through the real-time data sources. And if I have any transactional data and third-party data such as an ERP, SAP, CCTVs, and so on and so forth, so I need to get it through the ESP layer. However, that when I get this data, that means I create my object-oriented model whereby I can start interact between these data with a seamless integration. So I don't need to write any kind of scripts, any kind of high-end programs to be able to let the CCTV data talk to the equipment data coming from the process area. And at the end, once I finish and visualize this data, I will start thinking, slice and dice this data to show the value, which is basically to turn this data into information. By start implementing the workflow engine, the standard operating procedure, in case a rule-based business scenario happen, what is the consequences that can happen based on the business scenario, and to be able to contextualize this data and show it to the management in the nice way that we saw in the ADNOC panel. So that my end results is going to be only the dashboard. However, that at the back end, it's all the show is there. But for the management, we'll see only the end results. But this will help us again in the maintenance and the future upgrades, so you don't need to worry about all the connectors from these applications. You can start upgrading your dashboards without even considering the connectivity layer that you had into your different applications. So I think for the people that will attend my colleagues' presentation in the morning, this is the short video that we have. So this is the Unified Operation Center for ADNOC. We had a 3 months timeline implementation whereby we successfully implement the 52-meter video walls with more than 80 dashboards with the drill down capabilities in 3 months. And this is where the end results as a value chain for the 16 operating company for more than 200K interactions of IOs, HSE data, and so on and so forth. So now this was only the beginning. We have been also designing and implementing such kind of solution for the different customers in our regions, whereby they saw the value that AVEVA can bring for such kind of solution. So this is, as I was saying, this is one of the end results. So adding into what I was explaining about getting the data from different systems, we have been also lately introduced the 3D model connectivity and the navigation of the 3D model, because we start now the journey of the digital twin. It's not only the command and execution center. We start also, because of the pressure of our customer, we start that journey of the digital twin where we are linking the operation data to the engineering data. And we will be able to understand from all the angles of the assets what is going on inside my refinery. So in this example, this is one of the demos that we have been demonstrating in our booth here in Schneider booth. So basically I'm getting the information from the asset management system. Here is from Oracle Finance, some of the real-time data, energy solution, management of change, whereby in the background I'm contextualizing all of this information, and once I have any interactive clicks on one of these screens, the whole screens will be shuffling and filtering the data based on that. And not only this, it will go and navigate my 3D model to that specific equipment, whereby it shows you all the parameters that related to this 3D equipment. For example, the real time, the pressure, the last maintenance request, the number of work order for the past week, and so on and so forth. And to do this, the question is, to do this, do I need a very high advanced skill to implement such kind of solution? I would say no, because this is what we have been investing for the past 8 years with our customers, whereby we are putting all of our effort to create something called a templatized approach, whereby this is for our customers a template that he can be used in a different scenario, in a different segment, in a different department, whereby, for example, if the asset management team, they want to have their own dashboard, I can drive these dashboards from the Unified Operation Center directly to the asset management or the maintenance team. But also, we didn't forget our engineering team, whereby we include also the B&IDs as one of the additions to not only the 3D model. We have been including the B&IDs and giving the capability for the team, if they want to navigate either from the B&ID nor from the 3D, and then reflect all these information into the Unified Operation Center, they will be able to do that without any kind of special skills or special development skills. And this is part of our Unified Operation platform offering that we have. I know that the time is pressure, so I will just go for quick takeaways. So this is what we are talking about here. So the Unified Operation Platform, it will bring the asset technology and people under one umbrella. We will have the lower cost of ownership, because basically I don't need to have a high customization. I will use all the off-the-shelf solution, whereby I can even navigate, contextualize the data through the engineering and not only through the operational data. Reduce the energy consumption, whereby I get the information from the different system and start putting my formulas to be able to understand the energy consumption and the optimization. The IT and OT coverage, whereby I can get both system under one umbrella and start getting the value behind these applications. At the end of the day, this is what I mean, or I'm keying always in my presentation and the speeches, is the overall lower total cost of ownership by using the templatized approach, reducing the number of customization, and be able to get the value out of the box of our solution. I think by this I'm done. Thank you very much.